Welcome back to the refurbishment of the Nieuport 24 at David Bodrington Design. I've been rather busy in the last couple of days, and as you can see we now have a rudder in place. That's been covered in doculam, then tissue, and then obviously the tricolour has been painted on that surface. The fuselage has been patched up and repaired and fuel proofed. I still need to do some work on the hatch. But this is the business end, and as you can see, excuse me while I zoom in, rather strong morning light here, so let's see how it goes. This is the arrangement for running the engine. Now I actually installed everything yesterday. This is an OS Max 3 15. Don't know how old it is. It's a pretty old design. Goes all the way back to the early 60s, I believe. This model I think was built in the mid 70s, 76, 77. Makes it nearly 48 years old, or around about 48 years old. So it's got a bit of longevity to it. And this is how they approached a fuel tank back in the day. It's made from an old mustard tin, or the like, or a little bit of tin work. And I was a bit unsure as to how well it would run, so I started it up yesterday, ran it, and it ran perfectly. There's no pressurisation of the engine via the silencer, but I ran it, held it vertically, it still ran just as well, tick over and full bore. I'm unsure as to exactly how long I'll get out of that tank, but it is what it is. If I have to fly for 3-4 minutes, and then come back down and refuel, that's what I have to do. So I'm making really good progress with that. Excuse the rather strong early morning light, it's making it difficult here, but it looks nice and shiny, doesn't it? This is the tail surface, covered in doculam tissue and then sprayed aluminium colour, and obviously it will fit on like that. I'm going to leave it right until the very last, make sure I can square it up with the wings. And today I'm going to start covering those wings in a neutral fabric, and then I'm going to actually spray them, the aluminium cover, and fuel proof them. So let's get cracking with that. Well, here we go. I've started covering the lower wing in this unidentified, or I don't know where it's come from rather, covering. It's plain, it has a yellow side to it, which I've now discovered that's where the glue is. It's going on really well. I picked it up, I think I picked it up for next to nothing, to be honest with you. So this is a refurbishment project, and I don't want to spend a fortune using up some of the rare stock of Solartex and Oratex that I have left. I thought it was worth a go, and it seems to be going on really well. It's very strong by the feel of it. I'll cover the other side and let you see how it goes on. I wasn't sure whether this was going to work at all, but I've tried it on there, so let's show you what's happened. I haven't put any heat gun on it, it's all been done with the iron. And that seems very strong indeed. So we'll finish this off, cut out the next bit, and I'll let you see us putting that on. Here we go then. So I'm going to trim this slightly oversized, and then we'll trim off the excess once it's tacked down. I don't know if this is an early form of covering. I haven't got a clue what it is. So far so good. You can see there's a yellowy side, and I think that must be holding the glue and it's picking up little bits of flotsam and jetsam off the surface, so it's obviously effective. So long side first, trying to get it centralised. And then in the middle, do a little bit more of that actually. Trying to keep an even tension all the way around, because I don't want to induce a warp. I've done a lot of work to remove them. And that needs to be cut out here. That's obviously you can see that's the hook for the cabine, not the cabine, sorry, the interplane strut. And there it goes. It's gone on really rather well. I'll do the rest as a time lapse and we'll get this job done. Then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Well, there we have it. That's one lower wing panel done. And didn't need to resort to the heat gun. I just used the iron to shrink it. It's gone on really well. We'll see how it goes with the silver, or sorry, aluminium. However, I'm waiting for a part for the airbrush, so that'll have to wait until later on the week. But what I will do is, today is going to be cover the wing day. And if I put this wing in, there we go. I think you can see once that's sprayed up, it'll look rather neat. We'll push on. This little section might be interesting to people because the wing tip goes down at the edges here. To cover that in one piece would be put quite a stress on the material. It can be done with some coverings. I'm not familiar with this particular one, so what I've done is I've cut a panel and just covered the tip separately, so when I cover this part of the wing there won't be as much strain put on the wing itself. This is the wing which had a stubborn warp in it, so you'll notice I've got a weight here nipping the corner, This is flat on the board, and I'm actually going to tack everything in place while it's flat on the board. I think that way I've got more chance of not inducing a warp by doing the covering. Let's crack on. I'm calling this video, this particular installment, finished, because this is a significant point that I've got to, I think. That's the upper and lower wings covered now, all the warps sorted out, those problems done. They need to be sprayed and painted, but I'm waiting for a part for the airbrush, so that'll have to wait till next week, mid next week, I think. Tail surfaces, tail feathers are completed. It seems to be coming out at about the CG without the installation of the servos, etc. So I'm pleased with that. It's an interesting plane. It's taken about 2 weeks to get it to this stage. I hope you've enjoyed watching the journey thus far. If you want to see more, please stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. It costs you nought, as they say up here in the northeast of England. And get flying if you can, and if you can't, get creative. Take care now.